I actually started volunteering with the local Amdram company when I was about 15 years old and worked backstage with them. And I did sort of assistant stage manager kind of stuff and really loved that. And then when I went to university, I carried on working but I wanted to be an actor. This was just a way of doing something else, but I wanted to be an actor. But my goal was always I was going to be an actor. Then I took a stage management class and I thought, I could see myself doing this. So I finished the degree and then thought, I'm not going to pursue this acting career at all. So I went to drama school in London and I trained in stage management and technical theatre, then came out and basically went straight into professional stage management. I started off stage managing in the opera industry because I am a music reader. Then in 2006, I got my first job in the Abbey Theatre. And in December of 2008, I accepted a full-time job in the stage management department in the Abbey Theatre. And I've been there ever since. So stage management and theatre really is all I know. We were in the very final rehearsals for a new production, and the next week we were going into technical rehearsals, and this COVID thing was ramping up in the background and nobody really knew what was going to happen. And then all of a sudden we were on hold. They said to us, we're closing down to get this under control. And then at the end of 2 weeks, we'll open up at the end of March. And then that didn't happen. And then the gravity of the situation started really hitting home. And now here we are a year later and we have no sign of coming back. And it was terrifying watching all of my colleagues losing work left, right and centre. But I'm so lucky that I work for the Abbey because we were kept on full wages. We were so lucky. So then we started trying to pivot in the organisation. So we made this digital project and stage management had very little to do with it. It was all actors doing self-tapes and then a production company kind of put it together into this event on YouTube. All we were doing was the captions for the hearing impaired, and that was kind of strange. And then we did a play on Zoom, and I'm thinking, this is not what I signed up for. Then we started doing even more filmy kind of things. We did a live show outdoors and they got a film company to come in and we had to work with them. But it was still very much our domain. It was our play. But there was a little bit of heads knocking together because while we, the theatre people, wanted it to be our play, the film people wanted it to be their film. Then we did a response to Bloody Sunday in Croke Park, which was very much more for the film company, and we then had to slot in with them. And that was particularly challenging because that is not a language that I speak. And we were very much thrown in at the deep end, and all of a sudden now you are supposed to be doing, I guess it's more like floor management, I suppose, than stage management. And one of the things that I've always said is it's very important that if you're going to be the stage manager, you have to speak the lighting language, you have to speak sounds language, you have to speak the riggers language, you have to speak a little bit of everybody's language in order to be a good stage manager. Well, now here I was with a film company and they're using all of these words. I didn't know what they meant. And so I've been kind of cobbling together this new language with the film people just by doing it on the fly. So we're doing a lot of streaming now. It's quite stressful because this is going out live. The first lockdown felt interminable. You just didn't see people. You might when you were out walking on the beach, but for the most part, you didn't really see anybody. Then in level 5 lockdown, the government reclassified the work that we were doing as essential. So we actually could now travel to do rehearsals, do filming, to do live stuff. I found that a lot easier in terms of human contact, but you have to be really careful. In the past, we could have had directors not understanding why we couldn't realize their creative vision because they wanted the sun, moon and the stars and we only had a tiny amount of money. Now we're having to say, we can't realize your creative vision because you're standing too close to him. Stage management, I do believe, has a lot of universally transferable skills. We're used to coming up with creative solutions to problems. Those are things that do work universally. Having worked with live filming, well, that's just another string to the bow. The main takeaway is I have learned something different and I have learned a small bit of a new language. And I hope I never complain about having to work because I have missed it so much.